Ladies and gentlemen, happy Thanksgiving and welcome back to the Ajay Patel Show. Sorry I'm a day late, but boy, I've been moving. I've been moving around. I've been doing stuff. Y'all know my schedule. I'm kind of busy. Kind of busy. So from the start of the show, I kind of want to firstly just give some thanks. Give some thanks because I get it. It's the hoopla of Thanksgiving and families coming together and it's a warm, buzzy time. And Thanksgiving is always the beginning to the ramp down, right? Like even in the office, if you're around during Thanksgiving, this New Year's, everything's ramping down. No one's really trying to rush to get things done. And I'm talking about the average workplace. I'm not talking if you work in the AI space or some delivery or maybe retail. Retail gets pretty bumping during this time of the year. But everything starts winding down because if you haven't hit your targets yet, more than likely they're not that obtainable. And that goes with life too, right? Like if you haven't lost the 20 pounds by now, if you haven't made the $1,000,000 by now, you got 2 months. I'm not saying don't just fuck it, give up, maybe next year, maybe next, like, oh, I'll start on Monday. But, just enjoy the holidays. Your boy's been putting on weight. I don't even know if I'm just stress eating. I crave. I'm just like I'm sick for this shit now. Like the salts and the fried food. I'm just sick for this shit now. I told myself I was going to get in shape back in February during the bachelor party. Didn't happen. For March for the wedding. Didn't happen. A week after that for the honeymoon. Didn't happen. Baby moon October. Didn't happen. All right, fuck it. November. Didn't happen. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to hang around the block long enough. They say if you wait outside the barbershop long enough, eventually you'll get a haircut. You know what I'm saying? This is the beginning to the start of 2026. And it's a beautiful time. You get together with people. You finally see some friends around the block. You have a Friendsgiving. Huh? What's your favorite dish to make? Who's making the mashed potatoes? Who's making the good old mac and cheese, turkey? Overrated ass turkey. I don't even understand how this is still. That's how good American marketing is. If you're ever talking shit about this country, just remember we were able to sell this dry ass bird for centuries. For centuries. We still sell it just because we painted the story. Ooh. The Indians hosted these people, and these people brought turkey. And then next thing you know, Trail of Tears. Huh? Good story, right? But focus on the turkey. Turkey's got to be one of the driest. White meat in general. And some of y'all talking shit like, oh, well, you just don't cook it right. No, 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 no. It is a dry meat in general. You if you want some type of flavor, you go with a lamb. I don't eat beef, but I think beef. But honestly, any type of red meat, truly, pork, lamb, yada yada, that's where the flavor's at. But we sell that good old turkey shit. Mm-mm-mm. Now, from the start of the show, I want to take a second to slow it down. Slow it down and give thanks. And give thanks. It has been a very eventful year. A very eventful year. Probably the most eventful year of my life. And I've been getting gray hair left and right. Sometimes I run my hand through my hair and it's just a fucking ball of hair. I'm just like, damn, bro, am I stressed out? Am I just worried about something? I know the baby due date is looming, but what's going on? Is it the podcast? Is it not seeing the growth you want to see? What's going on in this life of yours? But at the same time, I'm very blessed to have the problems that I have. I like to acknowledge that, and I like to try to push that mentality to other people where it's like your problems are not that bad. They may be a lot, right? Even when I was last time I was kicking it with Jason and Kunal, and I was telling them, I'm going back and forth, I'm doing this, and then I got to do this, and then I go do this, and she even took a pause, and she was like, "Are you okay?" And firstly, what a great question. You'll normally not get that from your boys unless something like big happens, right? Someone passing, you get in a hit and run, you get laid off. Then your boys will ask you, "Hey, are you good?" And she asked me, "Are you good?" And I thought, yeah, because these problems are not that big. I get to be blessed with these problems. What amazing problems to have. Oh, yeah, you need to move states. Oh, you need to start nesting. You need to start breaking down these boxes. You need to, oh, which stroller should I get? Should I get the $1,000 stroller or the $1,500 stroller? This one needs to be compatible with the one that can fold. How much does this weigh? Well, you need to practice with opening it with one hand. These are very blessed problems to have. I go to work right now. Everyone's kind of giving up on me. Truly, everyone just keeps saying, "Hey, congrats on your baby." Go, bye, bye. There's one dude that keeps asking for some stuff, but just we're just gonna ignore him for a little bit. And then you think about it, and it's just like, what a time to be alive. I keep flying back and forth to Orange County to stay with my cousins, and that time's coming to an end, right? Because as baby time approaches, then I will be Houston permanently. And it's like this moment that I'm in right now will never be duplicated. A lot of times it is. A lot of times if you're doing the whole going to someone's wedding and you're going out to the club or just the usual shopping or whatever, right? Like those moments can be duplicated. Sure, you'll never have that specific moment from certain things, but in totality, most of the stuff is the same. This year's been quite eventful. I had my bachelor party. Okay, everyone has a bachelor party. I had my wedding. Okay, everyone has a wedding. Okay, everyone has a kid. Oh, everyone moves states. But it's like, but forget them. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to watch my language. I'm trying to make this little family friendly during this wholesome moment. And I wanted to especially say thank you to y'all. To anyone that's listened, to anyone that's given feedback on the show, to anyone that's, subconsciously said, "Hey, how's your little podcast doing? How's your little podcast doing?" And don't get me wrong, I don't think I've missed more weeks in a year than I have this year. And, rightfully so. I've had, quite a busy schedule. At the same time, we've dropped momentum. I even went back. I went back in the channel and I looked at all the YouTube videos I used to post. I used to clip stuff up, post it on the shorts. I used to clip up segments, post that on a Wednesday. I used to have a good schedule. Oh, now you're seeing growth. You see 10 subscribers from this short. You see one person from this video. People are engaging. People are talking to you about the episode, messaging you on Instagram, texting you on the side. Now, don't get me wrong. With the lack of momentum, that's all died down. But at the same time, I was thinking about it, and it's like, hey, bro, why do you still do this podcast? Like what is actually the point? You started a podcast with your boy Kunal, friend of the show, and what you guys did 8 episodes, and then that's gone. Okay, well, does it have room to come back? Of course it does. But focusing on this one, right? What is your purpose? Why are you doing this? It ain't making money. It ain't growing like you want to see it grow. But I repeat to y'all, and it is a very important message to keep in mind. If you literally hang out around the barbershop long enough, you will get a haircut. You will get a haircut. I know it sounds weird, but it truly is my mentality in life has always just been, as long as you don't put your head down, you will probably make it through. I didn't do the greatest in college. Oh, boy, you should have seen. From my first semester, my GPA, I think I was at a 3.7. From there, down. Next semester, down. Next semester, down. Summer semester, down. Next year, down. Down, 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 down. Down. But you know what? And then people started getting worried about me. My sister, my brother-in-law, hey, man, how you going to do it? How you going to do it? How you going to get a job? Aren't you a little worried? And it's like, if I spend time being worried, then I'm done for. As soon as you bury yourself, like, what's the point of someone else taking a chance on you? And as this, switching from podcast to life, more external life, and the baby, the looming baby. During the summertime, I felt like I had plenty of time. Oh, a procrastinator's nightmare, a procrastinator's ritual almost. Hey, I have plenty of time. I'll worry about that baby when it gets here. And now here I am. Here I am breaking down boxes, nesting, as they call it. Look at this. I'm literally, legitimately reading a book called Lactivate. This is what I'm blessed with. Who have y'all seen what's going on in this world? It's pretty wild out there. People dealing with getting bankrupt, people dealing with foreclosures, their house getting repossessed, whatever it is, getting bombed in different countries. And I'm worried about lactivating. It's a very blessed problem to have, and for that I'm very thankful. And going back to y'all, I seriously do thank you. This podcast for me has always been what it has been, right? Where it's just like, I want to do this because I wanted to do this. At some point in time, I wanted to start a podcast, and I wish I had done it sooner. But you know what? It is what it is. There's a bunch of quotes about planting a tree and whatnot, and this podcast has always just been my way of saying, all right, I'm trying on myself. Right? I'm betting on myself a little bit. Every single episode, whether I walk away from the episode thinking, man, I just killed that shit. Or there has been a lot of episodes. There has been a lot of episodes where I've walked away saying, "Pooh-wee, I would not want to listen to that shit." And for that, I do apologize. Lack of preparation, lack of skill, lack of topics, lack of fucking sobriety. For a lot of these things, it still comes back to that aspect of at least you're doing it. Just do it. It doesn't matter what it is. I already have plenty of regret of how much of a chance I didn't take on myself while we were living in Los Angeles. So here I am, right? Do I literally want to die being the world's most entertaining data analyst? Or do I want to keep doing this? And then eventually gain the muscle to say, okay, you know what? Actually, now I want to do this. Okay, now I actually want to take this, what I'm doing, and then evolve it like so. And I don't think that's possible unless you keep doing it. And truly, there has been plenty of times throughout the course of this year, right? We're probably going to end this year December 31st. And so then we have about 1, 2, 3, 4 more episodes. We'll end up at episode 90. 90, bro. I'm almost at 100 episodes of this shit. And that's some big shit. I'm going to talk a little shit for a second. 100 episodes. Y'all hear this fucking music outside? This is Houston, Texas, baby. You know what I'm saying? Screwston. Focus up, bro. I'm almost at 100 episodes of this shit. Of a podcast. I do not know someone else. I do not know them personally that has done this for that long. And it's become a thing. And honestly, it's become this vehicle for me to have fun, like to host like this almost semi-party with people. People do have an interest, right? I talk to Isha's friends. I talk to my boys. And, we've tried to set some stuff up. We've recorded some things. Vishwa and Narain. We keep talking about it. But you know what? Eventually, it will happen. My sister, my brother, my parents. Why not? Why not make all of this stuff happen? And it's not going to happen if I just cold turkey quit. But where am I going with this? And it's going back to the fact that there have been plenty of weeks where I plan on just saying, you know what, fuck it. Next week. Next week. The week after that. And then I'll get messages. From people I knew in college that I had a basketball class with, that I knew through the Brown community. And they'll say, hey, bro, I listened. And whether they like it or not, whether they're lying to me or not, I don't care. Because it's still that piece that it's like, hey, they didn't have to message me. They didn't have to say anything nice to me. Of course, people in person are going to say stuff nice to me because it's like, that's just society. You're supposed to butter people up. What else are we here for other than to butter each other up? And so all of you that listen, that have dropped a like, that have put me on your TV while you're doing chores on a Sunday, that maybe just play me in the background just so I can get a view on the YouTube video, I thank you. I thank you. I truly do thank you. I hope we can keep this momentum going as we come into the new year, experiment with new stuff, bring in new people, bring in new quality. You're right now, if you're watching this on video, this is the room that we hopefully turn into the studio. But I can't tell you when that's going to happen. But I promise you, Just hang around this boat long enough and we'll all get haircuts, huh? Speaking of which, it is the holiday season, and boy, it is time to travel. Travel around, travel around. And they recently introduced this $18. If you don't have your ID, you can pay $18 and then go and like get pat down for TSA and then go through the security. Travel's been something crazy, right? I right now, since the lady hoed me at the California DMV, I don't have real ID. So everywhere I've been traveling, it's been with a passport. And the flow has become pretty smooth, right? You just go there, you hand them your passport, you stand in front of this thing that's taking your biometric picture, boom, you're in, right? It's pretty cool. And now with California, you can actually add your license to your Apple Wallet and then scan it there. I have Clear, but I don't want to like standing there, putting my thumb on the thing, getting the retinal scan, and then having someone escort me to the front. And then sometimes you still have to show your ID. Like, fuck Clear. We've talked about this on the show before. This TSA $18 thing has been blowing my mind because like who knew you could just pay money and then get past security. But more interesting, sorry about that. More interestingly, in the world of travel, we had this CEO. Where'd he go? There it is. The DOT says, the Department of Transportation says better behavior could fix holiday travel. Step 1, maybe swap the sweatpants for real pants. Huh? What a hook. All right, now let's listen to this TikTok. I'll try to just play it out loud and hopefully the audio is somewhat good. Now look, that is I don't know who was saying those words. Let me find it. SEC Duffy outlines golden age of transportation. So I don't know who this guy is necessarily, so I do apologize for that. The main message is, hey, we're trying to start this campaign for people to actually start dressing up when they travel. Now, me personally, let's talk about travel for a second. We've talked about it a lot on this episode, on this show, but travel is one of the worst things, right? Like you see people running through the airport, paying $8 for a bottle of water, stressed out, talking shit. Like the lady behind me on the way back from Orange County was like, come on, what's the holdup? And it's like, hey, bro, like they're just putting the wheelchair people on. You know, these people are so impatient. People are so impatient, and then you get in the plane, and sometimes they have to deplane you. Sometimes they have to wait on the runway because there's a queue of planes, and people are getting angry. Why is this like this? Why aren't you catering to me? It's a miserable time, truly. And my number one piece of advice has always been be nice to each other. You know, be helpful, be courteous. If you see a lady trying to lift a bag, trying to put it in the overhead bin, or you see an older lady trying to do this, help them. It doesn't matter if you're in your seat, get up and help them. You see one of these foreign people kind of lost, whether it's an Asian fella, whether it's an Indian auntie, help them. Just ask them, what is the worst that they get offended? Okay, so fucking what? So what, bro? At least you're asking to help them. These people are lost. These people are from foreign countries. Have you ever landed at an airport in America? If you have landed at LAX ever in your life, as soon as you land, they are fucking screaming at your ass. Hey, come on. Hey, passport's over. If you're not an American, hey, you get your ass up back. That is what people are greeted with when they come to America. Imagine, you don't even know the country, and these people are just yelling at you. Be courteous to people. Now, this TikTok, people are shitting on this dude, right? People are making it a whole rich versus poor thing. Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? You got to bring back when seats were bigger and people all got a cocktail and you could smoke a cigarette on a plane. Look, I agree, right? That I'm sure flying back in the day, pre 9/11, used to be a thing. Used to be like, this is luxury, baby. Me and my family, we used to drive places. I think there was a wedding we had in South Carolina, and I think we legitimately drove to South Carolina from Texas. Chicago, I've known a ton of families because it's pretty cost efficient. Sure, you burn half a day, but then you're there. Then you have a car there that, boom, you save more money on a rental car. This is what it used to be. Now everyone flies. People, I say, Isha had to go to Dallas for something, and I was like, hey, do you want to just fly? Some people take the bus, but why not just fly? It's 45 minutes. Maybe it costs $200. Flying is the way to go. There's more airlines. There's more flights in circulation. There's more people doing this thing. flying used to be luxurious, I'm sure, and now it has turned into this thing where unless you're paying, you're not very comfortable, right? The economy seats, they've all gotten smaller. Everything has gotten smaller, tinier, cheaper. But I do agree. Dressing up might be a little nice. There are times that I'm wearing shorts and I'm about to get on, about to get to the airport. And I'm gonna say, yo, what am I doing with my knees out at the airport? You should not have your toes out, your knees out, your shoulders out when you are getting on an airplane. Dressing up couldn't be that bad, right? Like imagine, look, dressing up automatically makes you feel comfortable. Makes you feel comfortable because oh, you know what? I know I look good. Now, imagine the other person's perspective when they're seeing you dressed up. When you go to a concert or when you go to the club, what's your favorite thing? What's your favorite thing about it? You get to see all these beautiful ass people. Look, when you go to Garba, right? Nobody goes to Garba because they like doing dandiaras. Nobody goes to Garba because they like doing six step. You go because you get to see all these people in these beautiful outfits, whether it's girls, boys, aunties, uncles, it doesn't matter. People look good. So now imagine if you took that and put that towards air travel. Everyone's looking good. You see someone in a suit. You're already pre-programmed to think, damn, this person looks nice. I'm a little bit more. I'm a little bit more attracted. I'm a little bit more comfortable. Now I kind of do want to talk to that person, right? You lean in more when you feel more comfortable or when you feel more invited. I understand. I understand. Well, it's uncomfortable to look. You're going to be uncomfortable either way, right? It all comes down to what seat you have. It doesn't matter whether you're wearing slacks or jeans or shorts or fucking Speedos, right? It all comes down to what seat you have. So why not, with your poor ass back in 32C, I'm not saying wear a suit, right, or a tuxedo, but you just put some pants on. Maybe you groom a little bit. Maybe you put a little makeup on. You put a jacket on, maybe a nice little bomber, you know what I'm saying? Better, huh? A little V-neck action, show a little décolletage. And I do think it would make this world of air travel that much better. Anyways, that's my rant on travel. And I'm just saying, I think I'm gonna try to make it a thing where I'm not wearing my joggers or my what's it called? I guess they're all joggers, but no more sweats on the plane. I get it once in a while, right? You're going to your bachelor party, whatever. You put some sweats on, maybe do your makeup, maybe throw a little gold chain on it, right? You dress fresh for the airport. You're doing something luxurious. You're doing something that these people don't do out here. You seated in 7C, 4C, EC, 1C. Dress up a little bit, huh? Now then, to close out the show, I wanted to take 2 minutes to talk about this thing that's been trending more and more on my feed, and I guess like the world, is this idea that AI is a bubble. That AI is a bubble. Now, obviously, if you haven't kept up enough with AI, it's the new thing. It's the new thing. If your company's not with it, then you're behind it, and if you're behind it, then you're probably going to get ran over. Now, my day job, the job that pays money, is a data analyst. There's different titles for it, right? Some people are web analysts, some people are a data and insights manager. It's all the same thing. You take data from a source, you put it in a visual, you tell a story, you hand that to the person that the data matters to, and then they go and actually make the change to help the business. That's data analytics in a nutshell. Now, with AI, it is going to completely change my role, and I'm excited for it. Even right now, I use it in my day-to-day. I know I've joked around and said, oh, I don't even think at work. But the idea is that that thing thinks 5 times as fast as me. Now, will that reduce my thinking? Probably not, actually. Because now that you're seeing how this machine's thinking, when you approach a new problem or someone brings up a certain question, you know the 5 whys to ask. You're almost, as long as you're learning from the spoon feeding, then yes, you do know the shape of the spoon. Maybe I might get dumber. Who knows? But recently, I was looking at some sales of past series and sets, and I thought, man, okay, this is when this performs. Okay, maybe the summer set performs well. Oh, this castle, the price point is okay. So this is that. I put it all in ChatGPT. That shit shot out an answer 5 times, 10 times, 100 times better than what I was thinking about within 5 seconds. 5 seconds, concise, formed, gave me the idea of how to forecast for the year ahead. And then I'm going to take all that and then take it to the stakeholder and say, look what a fucking genius I am. Look at what a genius I am. Now, look, that is barely scratching the surface. The amount of things that AI is doing, there's no reason that these companies, and not just companies, right? Like people and companies have been investing this heavily into AI, whether it's your people at Google with Gemini, whether it's your Open AI with ChatGPT, whether it's Gronk with Tesla, not Tesla, but Elon. All of these, and there hasn't, the race hasn't concluded yet, right? I'm an avid user of ChatGPT. I've never really gotten a chance to use Gemini, or not gotten a chance. I've never taken a chance to use Gemini nor Gronk. But this world of AI is still in its very, very big race. And yes, there is a lot of money behind it. Do I think it's a bubble? I don't. I think there will be a lot of losers from this. And those losers will affect a lot of startups, a lot of people on the lower end, like not lower end, right? Because you're talking about people that are already working in AI. So these are people already making 5-6 figures a year. Now let's just stick to 6 figures a year. So is there a bubble there? I don't think enough people are involved in AI, because when you talk about the most popular bubble, right, it's obviously, it has to be the housing bubble. The housing crisis in 2008, when everything came down, they had a whole movie about it, The Big Short, amazing movie. But and that's what's crazy, is this guy got that thing right. The Michael Burry guy got this right, and now anything that he shorts becomes the story. And I think this is how all of it got this popular. That and in an interview with the OpenAI guy, but all of this has gotten this popular now, where it's like, oh shit, we're worried. But the difference that I was just referencing is that housing bubble quite literally had people that were making maybe 40K with houses that were over leveraged at probably $500,000, if not more, right? Okay, now that's house one. Okay, let me get another house. Then these subprime mortgages continue, and I can afford more even though I'm not making any more. How does that happen? Next thing you know, you have a crash. Next thing you know, all the banks get away with how they do. The common person takes the hit. With AI, I think even if this was a bubble, this would only affect a sub percentage of people. And I don't think it would bring down the global economy. I think it would hurt the economy, because what it seems like right now is a lot of the S&P and all that stuff has been propped up with how well AI stocks have been doing, mainly Nvidia. So yes, if Nvidia ends up taking a hit, does the S&P fall? Maybe a bit. But one thing that I have never seen after 4 years of any president, for the most part, is the S&P end up at a negative place. Every single 4 years, that S&P has gone up. And if I'm speaking out of hand here, then I apologize. And remember, and I'm in this for the entirety of the show, this is no investment advice. I am not a financial advisor, nor should you heed my advice. We are only talking about this for entertainment purposes only. Now, the thing that came to mind when talking about this bubble was this thought of this child that we forgot about. We forgot about this child that we used to brag about, that we used to create sub-children off of. We used to create all these ideas. We used to create these stories. Ooh, the blockchain. Yes, indeed, I'm talking about crypto. Now, crypto's been taking a goddamn roller coaster. Remember how popular crypto was? People talking about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin. Ooh, did you get the new monkey ape thing that was on everyone's thing? What was it called? The when you can put the piece of art in your virtual world. You know what I'm talking about? I'm blanking on this thing. The Bitcoin, the digital token, DTC, DT, whatever. You know what I'm saying. But so I pulled up some stats on Bitcoin for the year. And for the year to date, it is currently down 8% at about 86K. Now, the high that it hit was October 6th at about 124K. I remember when I was working at Lockheed Martin, sitting next to this guy named John Schrader, level 6 data scientist. This guy was like a genius to me. Whether he was sports betting, whether he was thinking about Lockheed stuff, whether he was talking about market stuff. And I remember we were sitting there with Bitcoin at 4K talking about, oh, this is definitely a buy. Well, we should put our life savings in this. Did I do it? No. Now, of course, a lot of people were probably saying this, right? It's a lot of hearsay with that. 124K now down to 86K. And I do have a feeling, in my opinion, and this is not advice once again, that it is going to continue to go down. Now, why are things looking weak? The crypto market has shed over 1 trillion in value in a recent span from peak levels. One major catalyst, expectations of US interest rate cuts have been diminished, which hits risk assets including crypto. The market suffered large leveraged liquidations. Highly leveraged positions got forced out, magnify the drop. Overall, risk appetite seems lower. Investors are tilting away from highly speculative assets, of which crypto is a big category. Now, this was always kind of my biggest thing where yes, you should always invest in what's working, in my opinion, where it's like, oh, that's the approach I take. I invest in what's working or things that I feel like is going to work. I've told the Peloton story on here, right? Oh, Peloton was doing great and ended up killing this kid. The stock drop. I thought, well, it's not going to keep killing kids, and people are going to keep using this thing. I bought it. It shot up. Next thing you know, I didn't manage it very well, and it just became this thing of the past once the world opened up and people didn't need 1,000 Peloton bikes in their own home. Stock dropped to $6. Oh, that's crazy. I've been a big investor in Coca-Cola. Not a big investor, big as far as what percentage of my portfolio is. Coca-Cola, that thing has constantly shot up since COVID because it's Coca-Cola. Oh, I see it. I see how it's consumed. I see what they do. I am a fan of it. So I invest in it. With crypto, it's always been a strange thing because, yes, you can pay for some things with crypto here and there. And I haven't come across it, but I'm aware of it, I think. But it was never something tangible to me. EFTs, electronic fungible tokens, EFTs, MFTs, MFTs, NFTs, non-fungible tokens. There it is, NFTs. It's never been something tangible to me where, yes, I get it. You want to buy this NFT of this green Power Ranger for $10 and then you're going to sell it to someone for $30. Okay, now you keep on doing that and you have this arbitrage, right? But how does that make any sense? I understand buying low and selling high, right? You go to a garage sale, you find some Pokemon cards that someone just wants to get rid of. You pay for it for a little bit. Then next thing you know, you find a connoisseur of Pokemon cards. You sell them for like $100 each. So crypto has always been something strange to me, and I've never been the biggest fan of it. But you do have to think that this doesn't have this type of momentum nor popularity for no reason. Right? There has to be, whether it's big pockets, a bunch of small pockets, this has to work somehow, or it has to have value and then have a future that it's built on. So in my opinion, when something is like this and it's going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, and no one can really point to exactly why, right? They can't point to, well, the earnings are this and this is how much cash flow they have. Then that's what makes me think that this is a bubble, right? The crypto bubble, which is not popping necessarily, but it's definitely diminishing to an extent. So coming back to the whole AI thing, do I think AI is a bubble? I don't. I think it's something that has just not proven its value, and that'll come with time as these models continue to train themselves, as companies become more upskilled on it and put less money towards shitty alternatives. Right? A lot of these tools that you see, right? The Canvas, the Figmas, the PowerPoint, Microsoft in general, everything is now utilizing some type of quote unquote AI. Is it necessarily AI? I don't know, right? The artificial intelligence is supposed to mean that this thing can now, be in my life. If it can now take actions, it can read things, it can interpret things and act on it. So a lot of these things that we use that we call AI, it's not necessarily AI, but it's going to get to that point. Now, whether you're scared of that or you're excited about that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it is coming. You see the $1 trillion, $1 billion that are getting pushed behind these programs. That's not for nothing. Do I think it's a bubble? No, but I'm excited to see where it goes. Now, with that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, I want to repeat happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays. We are going to take the week off next week as I fully prepare for more nesting. And we welcome my first niece. My first niece. I'm very, very excited for my sister to have her first girl. And man, three. I told my sister, if you have a fourth one, I might not talk to you ever again. Huh? With that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you guys for your time. Thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. We got a party ahead. 2026 is our year. Even though that is probably the most unattractive number I've ever seen, it's going to be our year. And don't forget, close the year strong. Let's get it one more time. A month and a half to go. Get that diet right. And even if you don't, just act like you are and have a good time with it. I'll see you guys next week, and goodbye.